Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I will be covering context and conditions of 20th century. So let's dive in the world of literature. The 20th century really begins before the end of the 19th century. Queen Victoria's Jubilee in 1887 was felt by many to represent the end of an era. An end of century, stoicism and a growing pessimism among writers and intellectuals may be traced to several sources, not least the publication in 1859 of Charles Darwin's On the Origin of Species, which put the existence of God into radical question. By the end of the 19th century, the pre-industrial economy and way of life had almost disappeared. In 1911, nearly 70% of the country's 45 million inhabitants lived in urban areas. The British Empire, which had expanded under Queen Victoria and in 1900 had reached 13 million square miles, also began to disintegrate. The Boer War between 1899 to 1902, which was fought by the British to establish control over the Boer republics in South Africa, marked the beginning of rebellion against British imperialism. A strong social ethic continued from the Victorian times of Dickens and Disraeli, began increasingly to influence the political character of the country and its institutions. The Gladstone Parliament of 1880 to 1885 was the no man's land between the old radicalism and the new socialism. The Socialist Party grew as liberalism declined. In 1928, universal suffrage for women was obtained. The Education Act of 1870 made elementary education compulsory for everyone between the ages of 5 and 13. There were many novelists such as Virginia Woolf, James Joyce and D.H. Lawrence will probably remain among the most significant of the century. Poets from Thomas Hardy and W.B. Yeats to T.S. Eliot and W.H. Auden will probably still be read in 100 years' time. It is more difficult to point to major dramatists after the Irish theatres flowering with J.M. Synge and C.N. Casey, the plays of W. Somerset Maugham, and have lost much of their appeal, and the early comedies of Noel Coward. Modernism is one of the key words of the first part of the century. Among its influences were the psychological works of Sigmund Freud and the anthropological writings of Sir James Frazer, author of The Golden Bough, written between 1890 to 1915. Figures like John Galsworthy and Arnold Bennett in the novel tend now to be consigned to history as relics of Victorianism rather than being read as contemporaries of Woolf, Joyce and Eliot. If you have any doubts or query, you can ask me in the comment section below, or you can even message me in the social media IDs that are given below in the description box. Do share the video to all those who wants to be the part of this literary journey. And the exam is very near as the date sheet is out, so do prepare well and revise. It is very much important. So that's all for today's video. Thank you and signing out.